Everybody, looks like we have a little bit of sunshine maybe breaking through for a little while, and the mild temperatures are continuing, so it's amazing for March 1st. We're still supposed to have snow on the ground, I think. At least that's how I feel, not necessarily that I want it that way. We have several guests today. I want to begin with Tim Thurston from CASA of Allen and Putnam Counties, and he's here to describe, come up Tim, a training class that will be taking place for their volunteers.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. My name is Tim Thurston. I'm the director of CASA for Allen and Putnam Counties. We're a program of crime victim services also here in Lima. We are a community of volunteers who are trained to advocate for children in the court system in both Allen and Putnam County, doing abuse, neglect, and dependency cases in Allen County and custody cases in Putnam County. We're a volunteer-driven organization, not just an organization that uses volunteers, but they're our lifeblood. They do the work, and our staff of 5 supports our 70 volunteers in their advocacy for children. They're there to help provide a safe, permanent home throughout these cases, and we have trainings 2 times each year at a minimum, sometimes a third, sometimes a fourth, as we add volunteers. We have a training coming up in April, preceded by an orientation on March 8th. 2 different time slots for that. We have an 11 to 1 time slot for those who maybe work in the evening or prefer a daytime, and 6 to 8 in the evening for those who may be getting off work and can come be a part and understand kind of who we are and what we do as a CASA program to see if it might be something they're interested in and might match their lifestyle. So we're certainly looking for more volunteers. We have 70 now. We need probably closer to 150. We've tripled in the last 2.5 years and need to double again to match the requirement of the courts in both counties to maintain our advocacy.
Can you describe how that advocacy takes place?
Certainly. After training, there's about 35 hours of pre-service training, and at that point, they're sworn in by the judge in their respective county. When a case opens up in Allen County, particularly, a case opens up through Children's Services of abuse or neglect or dependency, the court will call us and ask for an advocate to be assigned, and we'll assign an advocate from there. They'll follow the entire time of that case, sometimes up to 2 years in Allen County. They'll visit with the child, with the family members, with school if that's appropriate, if they're school-age children. Any medical records are at our disposal through a court order. Any place the child has gone, we can follow them along and kind of determine what is in their best interest in the court case. If it's staying within the home, if it's removal to a foster care system, or ultimately potentially terminating parental rights and being adopted down the road. So it's an investigation objectively from our organization, apart from Children's Services and an extension of the court.
Fascinating. Yeah. And so how long might a case last that a person, what's the average engagement that an individual would have with a case?
Average is 18 months in Allen County, closer to 3 or 4 months in Putnam County. There are different kinds of cases. There are custody in Putnam County, a different case, but it lasts approximately 18 months. 2 years is the cutoff mark. Legally, they have to close the case down at 2 years in some form or another. We have them close as quickly as 90 days on occasion, but that's the outlier.
Okay. Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
You too.
Also, Judith Lester is here from Safie, and they have a celebration coming up. Judy?
Thank you, Mayor Berger.
Good morning.
It's nice to be here. I am thrilled to say that Safie Youth Drop-In Center is turning 1 today, March 1st. Safie Youth Drop-In Center is a part of Safie Behavioral Health here in Lima. The behavioral health services offer outpatient mental health counseling, and the Youth Drop-In Center is available to youth who are aged 12 to 17 years. We're open 7 days a week from 10 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock in the evening. And we are funded through VOCA, which is the Victims of Crime Assistance grant funding. We are thrilled that we have, in the past year, we have reached out and worked with about 163 youth. And we've had over 600 contacts with those kids. So about 10 kids a day kind of showing up over the past year for us. We're feeding them. You have to feed children if they're age 12 to 17. It's a requirement. We work with them to better understand how trauma affects their lives. Probably 99% of the kids who show up to work with us have been a victim of crime in some fashion. That might be sexual abuse or physical abuse. We work with many kids who are in the foster system. We work with children that have been bullied in school or whose parents have been affected by mental health or drug issues. That's really very common and becoming, it's actually epidemic portion here in Lima that kids are being affected in that way. We teach them skills. How do you recognize how you're feeling? How do you name it? How do you cope with it? The kids who come to us are very often angry and upset, and that affects the way they live and how they are in our community. And so the adults who staff the Youth Drop-In Center are trained in trauma-informed care. We bring kids in. It's a safe environment. We teach them how to be in life. How do you cope with your feelings? How do you interact with others? How do you get your schoolwork done? How do you do what mom and dad and foster parents and teachers tell you to do? How do you follow the rules? And we're teaching them life skills. Now the big thing, we have about 10 kids on average show up after school. They eat with us. They make food with us. We have had the most amazing community contacts through all of this. We're connected to Crime Victim Services, who brings their folks in to come and do groups with us, Expect Respect and Safe Dates. We have the schools who call and say, we've got a kid who's really upset and we're sending them your way. We have worked with the West Ohio Food Bank, who helps provide us really nutritious food so that we can feed these kids on a really tiny, tiny budget. We are connected to other social service agencies in the community. You don't have to be a Safie client to come and take part in our Youth Drop-In Center. But we know all the different services that are available out there in the community. So when families come to us and need clothing or need food or need counseling services, we have that information and can really share that not only with the youth but with their families as well. We're making a huge impact, and I'm really, really pleased that we've got a year under our belt, looking forward to many, many more. And we are having a celebration tomorrow, Thursday, the 2nd of March, at 11 o'clock in the morning at 658 West Market Street, Suite 112, where we are located. And we'd like to invite the public to come and join us for that celebration.
So that address, is that right next to the library?
It is. It's between the library and St. Rita's parking garage. Park in back and come around the side, and we're right there. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Congratulations.
Thanks.
And Alaina Morman is here from I think the county extension.
It's also Allen Soil.
Allen Soil and Water.
Yeah,
All right.
we don't have a county extension.
We're going to be joined by Joe Gearing in a second, but
Okay.
Alaina, why don't you start with information about the tree rebates?
Okay. My name is Alaina Morman, and I'm the Urban Stormwater Technician with Allen Soil and Water. We're over on 4th Street. And we are coordinating and operating the City of Lima's tree rebate program. The funding for this program comes from the city's stormwater department. And as such, we're looking for trees to be planted within city limits. And part of the program is we have a tree list. It includes 69 different trees, and any homeowner, property owner within the city can choose a tree, get it planted, and they will receive a 50% rebate, and that covers the cost of the tree and professional installation if they choose to have it professionally installed. It's not mandatory. There's a limit of 2 rebates per newly planted tree per parcel. And new this year, this is our second year, new this year is the option to donate trees. As long as the tree is planted within the city, you can get a rebate for it. So if you attend a local church or you want to give a tree to a school, we'd love to have you participate in the program.
So why is it
Yeah.
important that we plant trees?
Yes, thank you. We're looking to plant trees in the city to help absorb the storm water that we have and also improve the city's aesthetic qualities. And I think if you have any questions, please see me. The tree list is available on our website, allenswcd.com, and you can also pick up hard copies in this building or at our office. Thank you.
Very good. Joe, you got anything you want to add? Come up.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Well, I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you about a book I recently read, which is The Hidden Life of Trees. So if anybody's looking for a great book, it is by a German forester who talks about trees and the way in which they not only what their biology is as an individual, but also how they function in their own communities of forests. And it's an amazing story based on current research, which describes that in forests, trees communicate through their root system and with fungi that, are all the way through the soils, and they basically share resources. So if you're on the edge of a forest, a tree might be exposed to certain weather conditions that require it to get water and sustenance from others, and all of that kind of there's a highway system of resources underneath the ground. So we have an urban forest, and that is what the Stormwater Fund is now helping to enhance, and it goes to, how do we look at our urban environment as a system of both infrastructure that is man-made and then natural infrastructure which we can enhance. So getting folks to plant trees is not just an ornamental endeavor. It's about how do we take advantage of create oxygen, how do we absorb stormwater, how do we even take up the nutrients in the soil in a helpful way. So we want to encourage folks to take this seriously and look at their properties, whether they own them or whether they're associated with them, as you just described with the churches and nonprofits in our community. So it's a great opportunity to invest and make improvements. So we appreciate that. I believe that's all that we have for today, so we'll break down for interviews. Thank you.